Welcome to the next class on Advanced Functional Analysis. നമ്മൾ സെൽഫ് അഡ്ജോയിൻറ്റ് കോമ്പാക്റ്റ് ഓപ്പറേറ്റേഴ്സിൻ്റെ സ്പെക്ട്രൽ തിയറിയിലുള്ള ഡിസ്കഷൻ കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്യാണ്. ഇന്ന് വളരെ പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ട ഒരു റിസൾട്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ പഠിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത്. ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ പഠിക്കുന്നതെല്ലാം ദ ഫസ്റ്റ് ഹിൽബർട്ട് ഷ്മിഡ് തിയറത്തിൻ്റെ കൊറോളറീസ് ആണ്. For every non-zero compact symmetric operator T from H to H, there exists a set of non-zero eigenvalues lambda I where I greater than or equal to 1 in R, such that absolute value of lambda 1 greater than or equal to absolute value of lambda 2 greater than or equal to, and so on. This collection of eigenvalues is either finite or it will converge to 0, and we have an orthonormal system collection EI where I greater than or equal to 1 of eigenvectors corresponding to the eigenvalue lambda I, such that for any x element of H we can express x as a sum of y plus a series a summation over I greater than or equal to 1 in a product x ei, where this y is an element of kernel of T. And if we apply the operator T on both sides, we will get Tx equal to summation I greater than or equal to 1 in a product Tx ei, which is same as summation I greater than or equal to 1 lambda I in a product x ei. And for every z element of image of T closure, we can express z as summation over I greater than or equal to 1 in a product z ei, and that means the collection ei where I greater than or equal to 1 is an orthonormal basis for image of T closure. And then we have proved that if H is a separable Hilbert space, T from H to H be a non-zero compact symmetric operator, then there exists an orthonormal basis of eigenvectors of the operator T, and we can express inner product Txx as summation over I greater than or equal to 1 lambda I absolute value of x ei square inner product x ei square, which can be written as summation over lambda I plus absolute value of inner product x ei plus square plus summation over lambda I minus absolute value of inner product x ei minus square, where this lambda I plus is an eigenvector which is positive and ei plus is the corresponding eigenvector. Lambda I plus is positive eigenvalue and ei plus is the corresponding eigenvector. Lambda I minus is a negative eigenvalue and ei minus is the corresponding eigenvector. Now, in the next result, we are assuming that these positive eigenvalues are arranged in such a way that lambda 1 plus is greater than or equal to lambda 2 plus greater than or equal to etc. And the negative eigenvalues are arranged such that lambda 1 minus less than or equal to lambda 2 minus less than or equal to etc. And the corollary says that it has three parts. Let H be an infinite dimensional Hilbert space. Then the following are true. The first statement says that if a positive eigenvalue exists, then maximum over norm x equal to 1 inner product Txx is equal to lambda 1 plus, which is the greatest one among the positive eigenvalues. And if a negative eigenvalue exists, then minimum over norm x equal to 1 inner product Txx is equal to lambda 1 minus. And the second part says that inner product Txx greater than or equal to 0 for all x element of H if and only if there are no negative eigenvalues. It's a necessary and sufficient condition. And the third statement says that if we take lambda plus as lambda 1 plus if a positive eigenvalue exists, and if there is no positive eigenvalue, we will take lambda plus as 0. Similarly, we take lambda minus as lambda 1 minus if a negative eigenvalue exists, and lambda minus will be taken as 0 otherwise. Then the supremum over norm x equal to 1, inner product Txx is equal to lambda plus, and infimum over norm x equal to 1, inner product Txx is equal to lambda minus. And hence we can say that inner product Txx lies between lambda minus times norm x square and lambda plus times norm x square for every x such that norm x equal to 1. So, to prove the first result, we are assuming that there exists some positive eigenvalue for t. Then we have this equality. Inner product Txx is equal to summation over I greater than or equal to 1 lambda I absolute value of inner product xei square, which is equal to summation over lambda I plus absolute value of inner product xei plus square plus summation lambda I minus absolute value of xei minus square. So if there is a positive eigenvalue, the second summation of we know that this part, the second summation in the RHS of 1 is negative because each lambda I minus is negative, and here we have a square so that it is non-negative. So each term in this sum is negative, and hence their sum is also negative. So if we remove this term from this equality, we will get inner product Txx is less than or equal to summation lambda I plus absolute value of xei plus square. And we know that lambda 1 plus is greater than or equal to lambda 2 plus greater than or equal to etc. We have arranged positive eigenvalues in this way. So among all lambda I plus, the greatest one is lambda 1 plus. So if we replace each lambda I plus with lambda 1 plus, we can say that this is less than or equal to summation lambda 1 plus absolute value of inner product xei plus square. So now lambda 1 plus is common in every term, so that we can write that inner product Txx is less than or equal to lambda 1 plus summation over absolute value of inner product xei plus square. But we have Bessel's inequality. Bessel's inequality says that if EI, collection EI where I greater than or equal to 1 is an orthonormal system, then we have summation over I greater than or equal to 1 absolute value of inner product xei square is less than or equal to norm x square. Here we have an orthonormal system, collection EI, and we are not taking every EI here. We are considering those EIs corresponding to positive eigenvalues alone here. So we can say that summation over summation absolute value of inner product xei plus square is less than or equal to summation over I greater than or equal to 1 absolute value of inner product xei square, and it is less than or equal to norm x square. And here we are taking only unit vectors. So this norm x square is nothing but 1. So we use this property in the previous inequality, so that we will get inner product. In the previous inequality we had inner product Txx is less than or equal to lambda 1 plus summation absolute value of inner product xei plus square, and this portion is less than or equal to 1. So we have inner product of Txx is less than or equal to lambda 1 plus. So that lambda 1 plus is an upper bound for inner product Txx where norm x varies over 1. X varies over the set norm x equal to 1. Now I am taking x is equal to e1 plus. This is also a unit vector. So if we use x as e1 plus, we will get inner product Txx is equal to inner product Te1 plus e1 plus, and e1 plus is the eigenvector corresponding to lambda 1 plus. So this is equal to Te1 plus is same as lambda 1 plus e1 plus. So inner product lambda 1 plus e1 plus comma e1 plus is equal to lambda 1 plus norm of e1 plus square, and this is 1. So lambda 1 plus norm of e1 plus square is nothing but lambda 1 plus. So for one particular x, inner product Txx becomes lambda 1 plus. For all other unit vectors x, we have inner product Txx is less than or equal to lambda 1 plus. So this means maximum over norm x equal to 1, inner product Txx is equal to lambda 1 plus. In the similar way, we can prove that minimum over norm x equal to 1, inner product Txx is equal to lambda 1 minus, we can see it here. Suppose there is a negative eigenvalue for t. Then we had inner product Txx is equal to summation over I lambda I plus absolute value of inner product xei plus square plus this term. And the first sum means a summation over summation lambda I plus absolute value of inner product xei plus square. This term is greater than or equal to 0 for sure. So if and this person is negative. So if we remove this positive summation from the equality 1, we will get inner product Txx is greater than or equal to summation lambda I plus absolute value of inner product xei minus square, and we know that the negative eigenvalues are arranged such that lambda 1 minus is less than or equal to lambda 2 minus less than or equal to etc. So we can say, if I replace every lambda I minus with lambda 1 minus, I can say that this summation is greater than or equal to lambda 1 minus summation over absolute value of inner product xei minus square. Again by Bessel's inequality, we have summation absolute value of inner product xei minus square is less than or equal to norm x square, which is equal to 1. So if I multiply both sides with the negative value lambda 1 minus, the inequality will get reversed. So we will get lambda 1 minus summation inner product xei minus square is greater than or equal to lambda 1 minus. We use it here. So that I will get inner product Txx is greater than or equal to lambda 1 minus for every unit vector x. Okay, now as in the previous case, take x as e1 minus, the eigenvector corresponding to lambda 1 minus, so that we will get inner product Te1 minus e1 minus is equal to lambda 1 minus, which will imply that minimum over norm x equal to 1, inner product Txx is nothing but lambda 1 minus. Now to prove the second result, we have inner product Txx is equal to this summation. If there does not exist, I hope you remember the second result, inner product Txx is greater than or equal to 0, implies and implied by T does not have a negative eigenvalue. Okay, this was our second result. We have this equality. If there is no negative eigenvalue, then this part will become 0, so that inner product Txx is equal to summation lambda I plus absolute value of inner product xei plus square. Each lambda I plus is positive and inner product x absolute value of inner product xei plus square is also greater than or equal to 0. So we have inner product of Txx is greater than or equal to 0 for every unit vector x. Conversely, we are assuming that inner product Txx is greater than or equal to 0 for every unit vector x. We have to prove that T does not have a negative eigenvalue. Assume that T has a negative eigenvalue. Then what happens? Then by the previous result, by 1, we will get this T. Suppose we have a negative eigenvalue, say lambda 1 minus. Then we know that the minimum over norm x equal to 1 inner product of Txx is equal to lambda 1 minus. If there exists one negative eigenvalue, then we have this result. Means at the point e1 minus, at the unit vector e1 minus, the inner product Txx takes the value lambda 1 minus, and lambda 1 minus is negative. So Txx takes a negative value at some point. But this cannot happen because by our assumption inner product of Txx is greater than or equal to 0 for every unit vector x. So this will be a contradiction. So that we can say that there does not exist a negative eigenvalue. If there exists a negative eigenvalue, then we will arrive at a contradiction. Now our third result was this. We are taking lambda plus as lambda 1 plus if there is a positive eigenvalue. Otherwise we will take lambda plus as 0. Similarly, we take lambda minus as lambda 1 minus if there is a negative eigenvalue, and otherwise we will take lambda minus is equal to 0. Then supremum over norm x equal to 1 inner product Txx is equal to lambda plus, and infimum over norm x equal to 1 inner product Txx is equal to lambda minus. This is what we have to prove. Okay. So suppose there is a positive eigenvalue. If there is a positive eigenvalue, then we have lambda plus as lambda 1 plus. And in part A, we proved that this lambda 1 plus is the maximum over norm x equal to 1 inner product Txx. So then we can say that the equality for lambda plus follows from our first result. So if there does not exist a positive eigenvalue, suppose the operator T does not have a positive eigenvalue, then we have lambda plus is equal to 0. In this case, we have to prove the result explicitly. Suppose there does not exist a positive eigenvalue. If there does not exist a positive eigenvalue, then inner product Txx is less than or equal to 0 for all x, where norm x equal to 1. For every unit vector x, we will have inner product Txx is less than or equal to 0. Okay, and we know that the eigenvalues of a compact operator will converge to 0 as I tends to infinity. So we have lambda I tends to 0 as I tends to infinity. And if there is only finitely many eigenvalues, we can say that lambda i's becomes 0 after some particular I. Then inner product of T en minus, this en minus is the eigenvector corresponding to lambda n minus. So this will be inner product of lambda n minus en minus en minus. Take the scalar lambda n minus outside. What remains is norm of en minus square which is equal to 1. So this inner product is nothing but lambda n minus, and we know that the eigenvalues converges to 0 as n tends to infinity. So 0 is the limit of a sequence. So suppose I am considering a set, say let capital A is equal to set of all Txx where norm x equal to 1. Okay, so in the set A we have a sequence inner product T en minus which converges to 0. Already 0 was an upper bound for A. 0 is an upper bound of A. And now we have a sequence that converges to this upper bound 0, means 0 is the supremum of set A. Means supremum over norm x equal to 1, inner product Txx is equal to 0 in this case. And we have assumed that there does not exist a positive eigenvalue. In that case, lambda plus is equal to 0. So the 0 is nothing but lambda plus. So again lambda plus is supremum over norm x equal to 1, inner product Txx. In the same way we can prove the next part also. Suppose we have a negative eigenvalue. Then from the part 1, this lambda minus is nothing but lambda 1 minus. So from part 1 it follows that the equality holds for lambda minus if there exists a negative eigenvalue. Now we are assuming that there does not exist a negative eigenvalue. If there does not exist a negative eigenvalue, then this lambda minus is nothing but 0. If there does not exist a negative eigenvalue, then we have inner product of Txx greater than or equal to 0 for every unit vector x by part 2. And we have lambda I tends to 0 as I tends to infinity. In this case also we have this. Or if there exist only finitely many eigenvalues, we can say that lambda I becomes 0 after some I. In this case I am considering consider the same set capital A. Thus En plus are all unit vectors. So inner product T En plus is equal to lambda n plus, and it converges to 0 as n tends to infinity. So already we have 0 is a lower bound for A. Now we get there is a sequence in A that converges to 0. Means 0 is the infimum of the set A. And here 0 is nothing but lambda minus. So lambda minus is the infimum over norm x equal to 1, inner product Txx. So we proved this also.